Good morning and welcome to All Things Marcellus with me, Attorney Doug Clark of the Clark Law Firm. I am located at 1563 Main Street in Peckville, Pennsylvania, and I'm here with you each and every week at this time on this station to bring you, the Pennsylvania property owner, oil and gas right owner, the information that you need regarding natural gas development. At the Clark Law Firm, I represent Pennsylvania property owners and oil and gas right owners for any and all gas, oil, and gas-related matters, including but not limited to royalty deduction issues, unitization issues, gas lease reviews, gas lease negotiations, pipeline right-of-way agreement reviews and negotiations, water lines, meter sites, compressor sites, oil and gas sales, selling property with oil and gas rights, or simply selling oil and gas rights. Please, guys, if you are considering selling your oil and gas rights, call us or call somebody who's going to help you, not the other side, but a lawyer who's going to help you, who knows what they are doing, because these agreements, these letter agreements that you receive in the mail to buy your oil and gas rights are not written to your benefit. You need to be extremely careful if you are going to sign a letter like that you receive in the mail. I've done many shows on this topic, and I'll do other shows in the future, but for now, I really want to stress, hey, look, we'd love to hear from you, but if you don't call me, call somebody who's going to work for you to make sure you are not getting taken advantage of in these transactions. These guys, my opinion, are very aggressive to make sure that they're getting the best possible deal here. So don't get stuck on, okay, well, I'm seeing this price per acre. You have to go deeper. I am telling you, you have to go deeper. And one thing I would recommend, if you want to learn more about that, I do reviews and consultations of these offers, meaning you send me the offer if you think you're interested. We can do it in person or by telephone. I go over the offer with you. I explain what the potential problems are, or simply what the problems are. And then we talk about the good, the bad. We talk about your situation. We talk about development in your area and give you the information that you need to make a much more informed decision as to whether you're going to sell your oil and gas rights. We have to be careful in these transactions because people are being taken advantage of over and over and over again. So if you are seriously considering this, you can give us a call, 570-307-0702, or again, call someone who knows what they're doing, who is there to help you, because the other side is not there to help you. Never forget that. They are not there to give you the best possible agreement of sale or letter agreement. No, they are there to give themselves the best possible letter agreement. And we have to even this playing field. So not really a topic I plan on getting too into today, but I just want to remind everyone, regardless of where you are in Pennsylvania, if you are considering selling your oil and gas rights, I would recommend do a review and consultation. You can email, fax, mail. We can do it again by telephone or in person, but I really encourage you. It takes only an hour or two. We can talk about it, and you can decide maybe it is what you want to do, and then we get a plan together of how to do it in the most effective fashion to maximize not only your money, but the fairness in the agreement. But then also, maybe you might decide, hey, you know what? This isn't what I want to do. And I had a case recently, again, staying a little bit on this topic, but recently had a guy who was going to sell his gas rights. Says, okay, hey, I think I really want to do this. We do a review and consultation. I said, boy, I really question whether this is a good move for you. You give me an opportunity to communicate with somebody at the company who I have a good relationship to find out what's going on in your area. And lo and behold, right around the corner, there's going to be multiple wells that are going to be drilled that are going to result in royalties for this property. And I mean within months. And so the person was very pleased to get this information because they obviously decided not to sell. And it's going to be, we anticipate very strongly, a very, very wise move. So just taking that hour or two of time to do the review and consultation probably saved this person from making an incredibly enormous financial mistake in their life, not only for them, but in future generations, because they were going to sell a chunk of their oil and gas rights. So do not go into that blindly. Do not go into that blindly. Why do these guys keep pressing you when they want to buy your oil and gas rights? If they're giving you a fair deal, all right, here I go. Think about this. If the buyer of your oil and gas rights is giving you a good deal, why are they going to pressure you? Why are they going to keep calling you? Why are they going to keep communicating with you if you are the one getting a good deal? Well, they're not. They're not going to keep pressing you or pushing you or trying to get you to sign if they think they're giving you a good deal. And if they tell you that, well, that should tell you about this something about the person who's talking to you. You're listening to All Things Marcellus with me, Attorney Doug Clark of the Clark Law Firm. You can give us a call. You can give us a call anytime here at the Clark Law Firm, 570-307-0702. And make sure you check out the show, All Things Marcellus, each and every week at this time on this station. So again, I'm going to stick with this for a minute because it's got me fired up, because I'm seeing it happen all the time. I'm seeing people being taken advantage of because they get a letter in the mail. They're frustrated because there's not royalties, which they were promised in the past by the company landman, who, as we know, works for the company, not you, the landowner. So the landman years ago promised future riches, and it hasn't occurred like it had been promised. So now you're frustrated, and now you're getting letters from some other people, maybe landmen, but some other people asking or seeking to buy your oil and gas rights. Guys, we learn as children, we cannot, and we should not, we do, I do too, but we don't want to repeat the same mistakes that we make. We don't want to repeat mistakes that others have made, that we can observe and learn from other people's mistakes. It is a much better way to learn and live. And fortunately, if you're able to learn from other people's mistakes so we do not repeat them. But at the same time, we must learn from our own mistakes. So, if we feel that we made a mistake by trusting and believing in the statements that we were told, for example, you're going to be rich, this is going to be great, the pad is only going to be 2 or 3 acres, it's going to look like a golf course, you're going to make tens of thousands of dollars a month, this is going to be incredible. If we bought into all that and we said, okay, all right, so based on all of this, I'm going to go ahead and sign for $50, $100, 12.5% royalty, whatever those numbers. Say it's $500, whatever that number is. So we buy into that. And now we fast forward 5 to 10 years. And that's not happened. Now, along come these letters, then maybe phone calls. Hey, we want to buy your oil and gas rights. We want to give you such and such per acre, whether it's $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. I've had people offered $10,000 and even more an acre for oil and gas rights. So they come and they want to offer you money to buy your oil and gas rights. So what we should do immediately is, in our minds, go back 5 to 10 years when we talked to the last landman who had said, hey, sign here. Maybe even said, hey, sign here, you won't have deductions. Maybe they said, sign here, you're going to get a lot of money in the future. Here's my pen. Here, I'm a notary. Go ahead and sign. Let's back up and say, wait a second. We were sold a bill of goods 5 or 10 years ago, and it didn't work out how it was presented to us. So now here I am being offered another bill of goods, of being offered something else. Well, maybe I need to say, you know what? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I'm not going to get fooled twice. I am going to go get advice. I'm going to get information, and I'm not going to be fooled, and I'm not going to make another bad decision, and I'm going to make sure I know what I'm doing before I enter into this transaction. We have to learn from the past. We have to learn from the past. You're listening to All Things Marcellus with me, Attorney Doug Clark of the Clark Law Firm. You can call us 570-307-0702, and make sure you tune in each week at this time on this station for All Things Marcellus. And another thing, people aren't going there enough. Go to our websites. Go to pagasleaseattorney.com. That's pagasleaseattorney.com. Go to, if you have anything in the world to do with a pipeline, go to pipelineattorney.com. I would love to hear from you. We love to help you. That is what we do. But if you don't even call us, go to the websites to get information. Information, education. That's what we need on our side. That is the enemy of the companies. We need to have informed, educated landowners, property owners, oil and gas right owners. The companies don't want to have informed, educated landowners who are represented by competent, capable people. I had a guy this week say, oh, yeah, well, the landman said, oh, what do you want to have a lawyer for? Oh, they're just going to charge you. They're not going to do anything for you. That's insane. That's crazy. Well, that's crazy because I know what we do. So a landman saying that to you, right there in and of itself, to me, tells me everything I need to know about that person. If somebody says that to you, that tells me what I need to know about that person. Because as I sit here today, I am representing a landman individually with property, with oil and gas rights that the landman owns, with other family members. So representing this landman who knows that I, as a landman, who've been doing this, I think this person's been doing it for 20-some years, knows that I better get an attorney who knows what they're doing to deal with this issue. So a landman, and this isn't the only landman I've ever represented in their personal property or personal situation. And this particular person does not work in Pennsylvania. They're actually in Texas. So they know that they should have an attorney to represent them, to educate them, to inform them, who's aware of the market, who's aware of what we can do and what we can't do, who's aware of the evolution of Pennsylvania case law and how the lease forms that companies are presenting to you are changing over time to take advantage of evolving and changing case law. But also, they're smart guys coming up with new inventive ways to change how your royalties are going to be calculated. So they look to design and insert, my opinion, but I'm pretty darn firm in it, that they're looking to put loopholes and new language in these agreements to allow them to take deductions, to allow them to calculate your royalties using index pricing. You hear me talk about that. To allow them to find other deductions that they're not taking that they may take. This is happening, and we need to look at this. We need to try to change it, but then we also need to be aware, if we can't change it, what we're getting into and deciding how we want to move forward. And I'm going to talk more about that in some of these later segments, but I want to finish up here. So buying, selling oil and gas rights, really, before you sign anything, I know, for example, in Tioga County right now, there's a lot of activity with buying and selling oil and gas rights. Guys, be careful. Get assistance. You can call us. We do a review and consultation and talk about it. Explain the offer. Explain what we've seen in the past, why it may be good, why it may be bad, and walk you through making the right decision for you. It's not my decision. It's your decision. But I want to give you the education and information that you need to make the right decision. Then we want to talk about why this document almost certainly needs to be edited and changed to be more even-handed, to be fair, to make sure that you're not going to get taken advantage of, because it's occurring all the time, in my opinion. Okay, we get back. I want to talk, I mentioned about these lease forms and changing language. I'm going to, again, highlight one of these leases that a lot of the language has changed from what used to be in this lease that was offered to the landowners. Now, over time, the company has changed the lease, and they've changed it pretty significantly, and it appears in one case that certainly this is done to allow them the ability or opportunity to take additional and potentially, we don't even know, substantial deductions from your royalty payments. We'll talk about that and much more when I get back. You're listening to All Things Marcellus with me, Attorney Doug Clark of the Clark Law Firm. Give us a call. We want to help you. 570-307-0702. Represent clients all across Pennsylvania. 570-307-0702. We want to help you. I'll be right back after this break. Welcome back to All Things Marcellus with me, Attorney Doug Clark of the Clark Law Firm. Remember to join me each and every week at this time on this station, where I bring you, the Pennsylvania property owner, the Pennsylvania oil and gas right owner, the information you need regarding natural gas development. And remember, at the Clark Law Firm, I have not, I do not, and I will not represent oil and gas companies. I want to be very clear on that. I do not, I have not, and I will not. Again, will not. They could drive a dump truck of cash to my office and dump it in my front yard, and I don't care. I will not. Will not. And listen, this is going on the website. This will be on PAGasleaseattorney.com and pipelineattorney.com on Monday morning. I have not, do not, and I will not represent oil and gas companies. We are here for you, the Pennsylvania land owner, property owner, oil and gas right owner, and we love it. We love it. I love it. Sorry to get off track, but again, I grew up, my grandparents' farm, living next door. My father now has the farm, steelworking family. This is a gift. It is a gift and a blessing to be able to represent people and make the living that I do doing this. So we want to hear from you. My number one goal is to make sure in any way I can that the Pennsylvania property owner and oil and gas right owner is not being taken advantage of. This is your asset. This is your asset. This isn't the company's asset. It's your asset. And in most cases, many cases, this asset has been in your family for generations. And we want to make sure that if somebody's going to profit from it, that you're going to get your fair share as well. So we want to make sure that we are evening this playing field and that you are getting the best possible agreement. And in order to do that, we cannot represent oil and gas companies. We represent you, the Pennsylvania property owner, oil and gas right owner. And I'm sorry, but I do get very fired up to that, because that's what we want to do. We want to help people, and that's what we're here for. And again, whether you call us, and we'd love to hear from you, keep listening to the show each and every week. Keep checking out PAGasleaseattorney.com and pipelineattorney.com, because the radio shows are up and posted. Each weekend show is up on Monday that you can go have access to it and listen to it. So if you can't join us each and every week at this time on this station, go to the websites on Monday. Go to the website Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, anytime, and check out this week's show and many, many other shows. I have been doing All Things Marcellus since August of 2010. I have been doing All Things Marcellus, our weekly radio show from the Clark Law Firm, since August of 2010. So for over 7 years, we've been doing this. I've been doing this show, and I am not stopping. No signs of stopping, because we need, again, to get you, the Pennsylvania property owner and oil and gas right owner, information, education, and make sure that we're doing the best we can on our side of the fence. Because I can tell you, the company's not looking out for your interest. you need to look out for your interest. You're listening again to All Things Marcellus with me, Attorney Doug Clark of the Clark Law Firm. You can give us a call. You need representation of any kind. You want to learn about reviews and consultations. Please do not be discouraged by distance. I have clients all over the state and representing clients all over the state and all over the country and even in other countries who have oil and gas rights in Pennsylvania. And I represent landowners that have less than an acre and represented landowners with well over 5,000 acres. So I don't care size, I don't care location. Give us a call, and if we can help you and if we're right for you, and that's your decision, then we're here for you and we want to help you. Again, check out the websites, check out the testimonials. We are here to help you, and that's what we want to do. Okay. So thank you for bearing with me. But again, I wasn't planning on getting fired up today, but sometimes that happens. So, all right, I want to talk about, I said these companies change the lease forms. And I did a show on this fairly recently, but we'll just recap it and get into it a bit. So what happens is the law changes in Pennsylvania and other states. Law evolves and changes. And so the companies, they're watching that. That's their business. They're watching it closely. You, whether you're a farmer, whatever your job is, you're probably not watching the evolution of oil and gas law in Pennsylvania state courts and federal courts. You're probably just not doing that. Very, very few people are. Likewise, attorneys who are not focusing their practice on oil and gas law, they're probably not doing that either. So we want to make sure that we're watching this evolution of law and how these laws are being developed, and then how they're going to apply to you, the property owner, oil and gas right owner. Pretty common sense, right? We know the other side is doing it. Shouldn't we have somebody who's doing that for our side as well, to protect us and to inform us whenever there's a problem or something we need to be aware of? So one of the things, we've talked so much about deductions from royalty payments, meaning subtractions from royalty payments, deductions. I guess I am going to talk some more about it here today. And we're going to continue to talk about it because it's such a big deal, but we're not going to just solely focus on that. But for now, I want to say, I talked about this the other day where the company, in this case, it's Cabot, added an entire section to their form lease, the lease that they present to people, that they present you a lease and say, okay, hey, here's your lease offer. Well, they added an entire paragraph, and it's a darn big paragraph that has a heading of the word deducts, D-E-D-U-C-T-S, deducts, as if deductions, but shortened. So this has been added to their lease. It wasn't there before. Now it is there. We need to pay close attention to this. I won't go too deep into this, but just like Shell, also known as SWEPI, changed their lease form to allow, in my opinion, clearly, to allow affiliate sales or self-dealing and then setting your royalty as an index and then subtracting deductions from your royalty payments. That was added to their lease form that wasn't there before. Well, now Cabot has added, and I don't say now, but somewhat, I'm not sure when they did it, we'll say over the last year anyway, they added this language called deducts to their lease. And there's a lot of concerning portions to this, but just to highlight some things, so they say that company can deduct from royalties your proportionate share, and then there's many different items, but I'm going to focus on a couple. One is that they can deduct. Now remember, this wasn't in their form before. And also, I have never seen this language in a lease that I am aware of. I don't recall ever seeing this language in a lease. So that again, red flags for me are flying up all around me. I can't see more than 3 feet because I'm surrounded by red flags that are saying, hey, pay darned close attention to this because this is very unusual. This is new. Why is this occurring? So it says that they can take deductions for, again, I'm just going to focus on a couple of these, for sale sales charges, commissions, and fees paid to third parties, whether or not affiliated with the company. Again, so they can charge you a share of the sale charges, commissions, and fees that they pay to third parties, including parties that they are affiliated with. I would assume including parties that they actually own that company. So I believe with this language, if you as a company own another company, you own all the other stock in another company, and that company is engaged in sales and transactions of your gas, that you hire them to do that. Again, you own the stock of that company. Then that company charges you, the company who you own all the stock in, charges you a sales commission or sales charges. You then pass that on, a proportionate share, to the royalty owner. That scares me. Again, that's my interpretation. That scares me. That was never in their standard lease form until somewhat recently, but it's there now, and we better be aware of it. Now, can we change it? Well, time will tell, but we need to be aware of that, and we need to ask the questions. What does this mean? Why was it changed? What do you anticipate? We got to look at these things. That's a major change. Then it goes on. It says also that they can charge you a proportionate share, any and all other costs and expenses of any kind or nature incurred in regard to the leased substances, being oil and gas, or the processing, transporting, processing, or handling thereof, meaning the gas, between the wellhead and the point of sale. Remember again, it says any and all other cost and expenses of any kind or nature. That, ladies and gentlemen, is very, 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 very broad. You're listening to All Things Marcellus with me, Attorney Doug Clark of the Clark Law Firm. Remember to join me each week at this time on this station for the information that you need, the Pennsylvania landowner, regarding oil and gas development. Okay, it gets worse. Believe it or not, it gets worse. It goes on. It says that the company may use its own pipelines and equipment to provide such treating, processing, separating, transportation, compression, and metering services. So they can use their own pipeline and equipment to provide these services. Or it may engage others to provide such services. Okay? Then it says, and if the company uses its own pipeline and or equipment, deductions from royalties may include, without limitation, reasonable depreciation and amortization of expenses. What? What? If they use their pipelines, then they can, if they use their own pipelines and equipment, if the company uses their own pipelines and equipment, deductions from royalties, your royalties, can be deducted that include, without limitation, reasonable depreciation and amortization expenses relating to these pipeline facilities and equipment. Depreciation and amortization. You can see those deductions. Well, what are those deductions going to be? What does that mean, reasonable? What is that? What is it going to mean, and what's going to be the impact or the effect on your future royalty payments? This is new language. For me personally, I have not seen a person be paid royalties who has signed a lease with this language. I haven't seen the royalty statement. I don't know what that royalty statement is going to be. I don't know. Is the company using their own pipelines at this point? Are they using equipment? What are they going to charge you? What type of deductions are you going to have? Boy, you better be asking these questions, and I'll bet a lot I will bet a lot that when somebody comes and presents you with a lease like this, they're not saying, oh, by the way, let me talk to you about these deductions and how we can charge you depreciation and amortization in the event we use our own pipeline facilities and equipment. I will bet you that's not what the landman who works for the company and not you, the landowner, is going to come to talk to you about. I don't think so. I think they're going to talk about the money they're going to give you whenever you sign the lease within 90 days, 120 days. I think they're going to talk about how productive their wells are, how much money you're going to make, how great everything is going to be for you. I don't think they're going to say, oh, by the way, look at this section number 2 or item number 2, 5B2 in the lease, which talks about deductions, which says that we can charge you in the event we use our own pipelines or equipment, that we can charge you depreciation and amortization expenses relating to these facilities. Oh, and together with the company's cost of capital. And, listen to this one, and a reasonable return on its investment in such facilities. And a reasonable return on its investment in these pipeline and equipment facilities? What does that mean? And then the question becomes, well, what if it's more than what you think? What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Well, there's mandatory arbitration provisions in these leases, so it's going to cost you a whole lot of money to try to fight this. So if you're losing, say, $15,000 a year making up that number, totally making that number up. We could pick any number we want. But if you're losing $15,000 a year, it's probably not enough to sue the company because it's going to cost too much. It's going to cost too much, and there's uncertainty with litigation. So some may argue that, and I don't want to single any company, but when you have these arbitration provisions and the cost of pursuing these actions is very expensive, that the companies have a license to steal because they know you're not going to sue them because it costs too much. Again, this isn't legal advice. I don't want to pick on any single company, but that's the school of thought. That's the school of thought, that if you take a little bit from everybody, no one's going to sue you. And that's why, like them or not, that's why class actions are powerful. But at the same time, mandatory arbitration provisions that these companies put in these leases are to stop class actions. So if a company is doing something inappropriate and they're taking, even if it's $1,000 from every single person every year, no one's going to bring an action because it costs too much money. And if you can't bring a class action, well, that's where you get the argument that that's a license to steal. Again, I'm not saying companies are stealing. I don't want that to be interpreted that way. But I'm saying this, that when you get into these issues that become gray, and the question is the company doing something appropriate or not, and you think they're definitely not, well, if it's at the tune of $10,000 to $15,000 or even $20,000 a year, it's a hard case to bring because it's going to cost a lot of money to bring that case. And if you can't do a class action because all of these leases have arbitration, companies did a pretty darn good job of insulating themselves from you going after them for what may be a very legitimate claim. All right, I'm over here. Not over for the day, just over for this segment. You're listening to All Things Marcellus with me, Attorney Doug Clark of the Clark Law Firm, where I do not, have not, and will not represent oil and gas companies. Only property owners, oil and gas right owners. Stay tuned. Make sure you join us on this station at this time. 2 more segments left. I'll be right back. You're listening to All Things Marcellus. Welcome back to All Things Marcellus with me, Attorney Doug Clark of the Clark Law Firm. Remember, I represent landowners, property owners, oil and gas right owners all across Pennsylvania and even across the country. If you have oil and gas rights or property in Pennsylvania, please do not be discouraged by distance. We represent people. We do a lot by email, but we have a lot of clients who don't use email. So we have clients in Washington County, Greene County, Beaver County, Allegheny County, Westmoreland County, Tioga County, many clients in Tioga County, Susquehanna, Bradford, Wyoming, Sullivan, Lycoming, you name it. We've represented people in those areas in oil and gas related activities, production, sale, etc. So please don't be discouraged by distance. Give us a call and see if we can help you. And we do a lot of these reviews and consultations, and I'm telling you, they're so valuable. I don't get off the phone with people or have these in the office and the people say, wow, why the heck did I do that? No, quite to the contrary. Honestly, all the time people say, wow, I'm so glad that we had this conversation. This has been very, very, very helpful. And then maybe we do additional work. Maybe that's the end of it. But those reviews and consultations usually take an hour or two in most cases. And we do them by telephone. If you have siblings across the country, we can do a group call. We want to help you. I want to help you. So please feel free. Give us a call. Learn about what we do. Right now, probably in Tioga County, we have more activity, more things going on in other places of Pennsylvania, but we have a lot of stuff. Susquehanna County is hot now. Some things are happening in Bradford, but just a lot is happening in Tioga. And, if you listen to the show all the time, I think that Tioga just happens to be an area where there's not a lot of information and education out there for the landowner. And we want to get that to you. So if you're in Tioga County and you have any of these issues, I really encourage you to give us a call and learn about what we do and see if we can help you. And if we can, great. And if you hear and you don't like it, hey, that's okay. But give us a call and see if we can help you, because it's, again, an area, especially in my opinion, in Tioga County, in my opinion, is the number one area in Pennsylvania where people are being taken advantage of that I see. And I want to make sure that we're bringing this information to you to make sure that you're doing the best possible pipeline right-of-way agreement that you can get. The prices that are being paid in Tioga tend to be lower than anywhere else. We need to change that. The lease offers and the royalty calculations, some of the worst language out there. We need to try to change it, or we need to understand what it is and make an informed decision. Another really interesting thing in Tioga is that you're seeing Utica well development, which means, now I know I'm going to get on this path too far today, but Utica wells have a different set of laws that apply to them. The oil and gas conservation law. No one's talking about that. You need to understand that. It is different and it is significant. And there are some things in there that I really like for you, the land owner. So we need to make sure that we're understanding, are we in a Utica development area? Are we in a Marcellus development area? And what in the world is this oil and gas conservation law? And how may it help me or possibly hurt me in negotiations or in leverage going forward? You need to understand those things. Remember, these are, most of the time, this asset, your property, it's the farm, it's a large property, whatever the case. But in most clients, not all, but most, the property is the biggest or one of their biggest assets. So we need to make sure that we're taking care of it. We need to make sure we're doing it in the best way we can, and to make sure we're maximizing our situation. And look, if you think, what do I care? Well, think about your kids. Think about your spouse if something happens to you. Think about future, think about grandchildren. Think about legacy. Think about, hey, look, let's do this right. Let's do it right now, because in almost all cases, there's no second bite of the apple. You're listening to All Things Marcellus with me, attorney Doug Clark of the Clark Law Firm. Join me right here each and every week at this time on this station for All Things Marcellus. I've been doing the radio show now for over 7 years, and we're not stopping. Give us a call, 570-307-0702. I have not, do not, and will not represent oil and gas companies. We are here for you and want to work for you. I want to fight for you, and we want to make sure that you're doing the best you can. You can go to the websites, pagasleaseattorney.com, pipelineattorney.com. Think about that, pipelineattorney.com. If you are anywhere listening to this show and you have a pipeline agreement offer, and it's out there, and you're not going to pipelineattorney.com, free. You don't ever have to call us. Go and read and learn and get information. Get information. Listen to prior radio shows that I've done on pipelines. Go to pagasleaseattorney.com. Go to pipelineattorney.com. Let's get these agreements better. Tioga County, we are improving these agreements. We are improving these agreements, and you cannot rely on the pipeline landman who's telling you, oh, yeah, we can do this under the lease, or we can do this, or we can do that, or we can't do this, we can't do that. No, you need to rely on your representative who's working for you, not the landman who's working for the company. So, again, give us a call. Love to hear from you. Learn what we do. See if we're right for you. 570-307-0702. And remember, look, it's me as the attorney. There's no associate. You call us, I will, and you hire us, it will be me. We will be doing the review and consultation on the telephone, in person, representation. You don't get passed on. We're going to talk, and we're going to do the best we can to make sure that you do the best you can. 570-307-0702. All right, I want to go back now. I was talking before about the change in the oil and gas lease to add this deduction language. Got a little fired up, and I got to tell you, I think deservedly so. It is very disturbing to me to see this language, and I'll just recap a couple things. One, now there are there's to letter G of different types of deductions. So that's A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So they itemize 7 different types of deductions that they can take. Then it says, though, that if the company uses their own pipelines and equipment to provide such treating, processing, separating, transportation, compression, and metering services, and if they use their own, this is amazing to me, if they use their own pipelines and or equipment, deductions from your royalties may include, without limitation, reasonable depreciation and amortization expenses relating to such facilities, together with the company's cost of capital and a reasonable return on its investment in such facilities. I know sometimes this can get hard when you're listening to the radio or you're listening on the computer, but this is important stuff. This is really important stuff. And if you don't understand what that means, you're not alone. You're not alone, and you should be doing some investigating to make sure that you understand that. And at least from my perspective, I've not seen yet a landowner who's signed a lease with this language who's received royalties. I haven't seen it yet. So I don't know how they're going to do this. I don't know how they're going to implement this. I don't know. And it's a discussion that I'll be having with the company shortly, but it's something that this is a great example of people saying, oh, okay, let me just go ahead and sign. Probably, I do this every day, and I don't know what the impact of this is going to be. I don't know. It may be extremely substantial. Maybe it won't be, but I don't know. And I would venture that, landowners, property owners, oil and gas right owners, they're not going to know either. Me, I do this every day. We're involved in royalty litigation. We're involved in negotiations. I'm involved in these things every day. And I don't know what the impact of this is going to be. So we need to talk about this. We need to work through this, and we need to understand this, and we need to try to change it. We really do. We need to try to change it or understand what the impact is going to be and then make an informed decision. But boy, you say, oh, I got a lease offer. Oh, here's my pen. Here's the landman as the notary. That's convenient. Let me go ahead and sign. And then later on, I get my royalty statements and I see all these deductions and I see that, wait a second, the company has charged me depreciation and amortization for their use of their facilities, their pipelines and equipment, their metering equipment. And then they also have charged me so that they can collect their cost of capital and a reasonable return on their investment a reasonable return on their investment in these pipeline facilities? Man, that gives me a lot of concern, and something we need to talk about, and probably something I'm going to continue to talk about, because we're going to keep watching these changes and the evolution of these lease agreements, just like what SWEPI did in changing their form, in my opinion, clearly done to allow them to sell the gas to an affiliated company at the wellhead and then set that price using a local index and then deduct transportation, gathering, separating, dehydrating, compression, any other expense that they're allowed to deduct from the index price. Not even the price that they actually sell the gas at to a third party, but an index price. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But sometimes you can't change things. Sometimes you can. You need to get that specific advice. We got to work to see what we can change and what we can't, what the impact may be, and can we do other things that make this agreement more palatable, that I'm going to go ahead and do it. And that's all part of this process. There's a lot of moving parts in this, and we need to make sure we're doing it in the right way, and we're making sure that you're informed and educated, because that's how you're going to do better, and that's how the whole community, that's how your whole area, your township, your county is going to do better. But for everyone to have good quality information. And look, these companies aren't getting nicer. They're getting wiser with the evolution of Pennsylvania law. They're not saying, oh, let's change these lease agreements to make it more beneficial to the landowner. Let's change these lease agreements to make it a more fair agreement. No. Let's watch the evolution of this case law. Let's watch what's happening out there, and let's figure out how we can make this situation better for us. And as I say, look, that's okay, because they're in the business to make money. But we need to know, and we do know, they're in the business of making money. So we're in the business of protecting ourselves, our spouses, and our children and our grandchildren. That's our job. Their job is to make as much money as they can. Our job is to protect ourselves and our families and to make as much money as we can and protect the property. So that's where the negotiations occur, and that's where you need to work these agreements to get the best agreement, most money, highest royalty, best addendum terms, best royalty calculation language. And we're not even talking about pipeline right-of-way agreements, but boy, typically there's way more flexibility in pipeline right-of-way agreements than there are leases. So if you have a pipeline right-of-way agreement and you're not negotiating that, and you're not getting an attorney who knows what they're doing, and you're not understanding your negotiation leverage, and you don't know what the difference is between what lease rights are and whether they have eminent domain rights eventually or probably or possibly, or your ability to say no, all of those things. If you have a pipeline right-of-way agreement, I'm just going to say this one. Give us a call. Do a review and consultation. 570-307-0702. 570-307-0702. I'm up against the break here. You're listening to All Things Marcellus with me, Attorney Doug Clark of the Clark Law Firm. Remember to join us each and every week at this time on this station, where I'm going to bring you what you need to know. And I'll be right back. Welcome back to All Things Marcellus with me, Attorney Doug Clark of the Clark Law Firm. I got a short last segment, so I'm going to do something a little bit different. I try not to make the show too commercial, but I want to talk a little bit about representation and what we do. We're talking about, I'm talking about this gas lease form and these changes, and we're talking about royalty and royalty deduction issues. I am not kidding you. I could talk about royalty and royalty deduction issues with just having a drink of water occasionally for a day, for 2 days, and maybe more. These are the things I think about all the time. These are the things we're looking at all the time. Royalty actions, unitization, all these things. They're very, very complicated. So when we do the show, we want to make sure that we're getting out, hopefully, good quality information, getting information that's making people think and understanding, hey, wait a second. Maybe there's more to this leasing or this lease form or this pipeline agreement than what I understand or what the landman is telling me. Maybe in the pipeline right-of-way agreement, I have complete and total leverage to negotiate, sometimes maybe for significantly more more compensation. I want to stress that this does not happen all the time, but I've had clients who've been paid hundreds upon hundreds of dollars per foot for a pipeline. In fact, I think I recently had somebody who was around $1,000 a foot for a pipeline. I stress again, that doesn't happen all the time. But when you're approached for $10, $15, $20, $25, $30 a foot, and you say, oh, okay, well, all right, yeah, I'm going to get rich in the future here. Let me hurry up and sign. Well, maybe you should be asking, wait a second, why am I offered 10 and some people are signing $50, $60 a foot? Should I be jumping at this? Well, the landman says that if I don't sign, they're going to do it anyway, and I'm only going to get crop and timber damage. Well, is that really true? Because I heard this guy on the radio once say, I heard him say it a lot, that the landman doesn't work for me, works for the company. He or she works for the company, not me, the landowner. So maybe I should talk to somebody and find out what my negotiation leverage is. I have on many occasions seen offers that we've had clients call and we say, okay, well, yeah, you're offered $10,000, $20,000. And by the end of the process, maybe it's 30. They signed for $100,000 or more. Again, I'm not telling you that happens all the time, but I'm telling you it happens a lot more than what you might think. A lot more than what you might think. And then also, we deal with what's the language in the agreement? Where are they going to operate? How are they going to operate? I've negotiated pipeline right-of-way agreements, reviewed pipeline right-of-way agreements with easily over 60 companies. I think it's even over 70 different companies in Pennsylvania at this point, which gives you an idea of what's out there. And if you're not tapping in, if you're not going to pipelineattorney.com, I don't care where you are in Pennsylvania, if you're not calling us and having a review and consultation. I talked to somebody from Massachusetts last night who has property in Pennsylvania. If you are not calling for a review and consultation, I think you're making a mistake, but that's your decision. That's your decision. But we want to help you. So you have the opportunity to call 570-307-0702. Call our number. Learn about reviews and consultations. If it's right for you, do an hour or two review and consultation. And learn. Understand leverage. Understand what you may or may not be able to negotiate, and understand your situation. Learn and take advantage of what we can offer you, which I really believe is a great, incredible resource. It's what we do. So give us a call, 570-307-0702. Love to hear from you. Again, I have clients and have represented and do all across Pennsylvania and located in other places. So do not be discouraged by distance. We want to get you this information. And if you're signing a pipeline right-of-way agreement, a gas lease, or any other document with a major oil and gas company or a small oil and gas company, and you're doing that on your own and you're not getting assistance, in my opinion, you're making a big mistake. And yeah, I'm a lawyer. Yeah, that's self-serving. Yes, this is what I do. All that is true. Every bit of it is true. Not going to lie to you. All of it is true. But at the same time, it doesn't matter because it's the truth. We're here to help you, want to help you. You need to protect yourself. Pennsylvania is full of examples, thousands of examples where people weren't represented and were taken advantage of, thousands upon thousands. Don't let it happen to you. You're listening to All Things Marcellus with me, Attorney Doug Clark of the Clark Law Firm. Remember to join me each week at this time on this station. And, of course, remember, stop signing bad agreements. Landman works for the company, not you, the landowner. Have a great week, everyone.